Welcome to Mystic Moons. I hope everyone is feeling fine. To all, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you may be and whatever time zone. All over the world, we have a new problem, a new mystery, something we need the spirits to help us. We need you and I together. Cleanse. And let's just think about some things as we get ready to take this journey. So let's relax and put ourselves into the psychic spaceship, and let's just leave the planet. Let's just orbit around planet Earth and look down and think about what's happening to our beautiful, beautiful planet. Buckle up. Remember to do that. Put on your psychic space helmets. Set your aura to the highest frequencies. And let's take the trip and find out, what are all these spots in Europe, in the United States, many states, many countries, more than 10, more than 20, countless. Something strange is happening. There's this fog, and it's not a natural fog. It's a fog that happens without the usual heat, cold, and water amount, H2O in the sky, in the air. It just happens. And not only does it just happen, this fog, which is all east, west coast, north, south, east, west Europe, it's everywhere. What is it? What is this fog? It smells like chemicals. The air is dry and it stinks. The fog stinks. It smells like, people have said, like burning tires. Now, how quickly do we forget before we just go more into this? Remember last summer in the United States, North America, and elsewhere, we had fires creating smoke, and it would go on for days and days, endless fires. And that stank too. That had a smell. And you were advised not to stay out too long. Well, lo and behold, here we go again. However, this is not fires this time. This is called fog. Fog. Not smoke, but fog. Now, this fog seems to be, as I said, it stinks. It stinks like burning tires, and it smells like bleach. It smells chemicals. It smells like something's burning. And it makes people ill. They can feel fine when they go outside and they go out in the fog. They're congested. They have a cough. They have mucus. They have like brain fog, brain like disorientation. Happens everywhere. And this fog lingers. It just doesn't in the morning between the sun burning it off. I mean, I've lived way high in the mountains. I still live in the mountains, but I live even higher. And no matter what in the valley or the lower part of the mountains the weather was, it was always foggy. It was always, where is the car? Where is the road? Where is this? In fact, you learned you had to put on your low beams when you're driving because of the reflection. You couldn't see crap. But it was, it was damp and it didn't stink. It didn't smell like burning tires. Now, anybody's been around a dump or drove past, they know what that stuff smells like. course, those waste management centers they have everywhere too stinks too. Same smell, same smell. Isn't that ironic? Same smell, same smell. Well, anyway, to my subscribers who are joining, thank you. Thank you very much. To people who are just popping in, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please subscribe if you find this topic of interest and exploration. I need all your help. I need you to be in an intuitive state to help. Together we can find out exactly, label it, what it is. I mean, even if we can't express it in words, our cells will know, our bodies will know exactly. And we'll fear not because we know what's happening. And if you could give me a thumbs up if I'm on the right direction, I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Mystic Moons is always happy to be in the cutting edge of what's happening. All of a sudden, too, you must know before we get more into this fog, too. What happened to the drones? Do you hear drones? No, drones are quiet now. No, they're not quiet. They're just not talking about it. So, okay, so plus, now we have drones, now plus fog. All right. Now, it stinks. It smells. It lingers. Now, we know that in the United States, the state of Florida has recently, they're making a bill and they're going to enforce it. It's to stop weather modification. Now, we know fogs are part of weather. So, and this is not a natural fog. So this is weather modification. Now, who do we know who's going around saying the sun should be blocked? Yes, we all know who that is, right? So let's just see how far is this thing going. Let's get the spirits to give us some aid as to where this leads us. Where this leads us. All right. Now, weather modification, blocking the sun, how is it done? Is it more nefarious than just, oh, you're putting too much more than the 0.04% of carbon dioxide that's already in the nitrogen, 78% nitrogen, and 20-something, 21, 20, 22%, something like that. Oxygen is already in our air that we breathe. And if that wasn't sufficient for 2025 humans, they're putting other mixes in. The fog. Now, is this fog? Let's just get some intel for spirits. Give me some voice. Give us some voice about this fog. This fog. All right. So we pick some cards about the fog and see if we can get some kind of spirit words on this. First card we get, the Knight of Wands. An announcement. Announcement. Is this a good announcement? Push this back a little. All right. Announcement. Now, the second thing we have is the Eight of Swords. Dangerous. This is something dangerous. The Spirit is telling us it's something that we should be wary of. We know that. It stinks. It stinks. We can't see in it. And then we have the Three of Wands. I would say the Three of Wands in this case, it has a particular mission. It has a particular goal. This fog, these fogs everywhere in the world, they're meant to do a particular thing. And it's a series of inhalation, of coding. Here we have the Three of Pentacles. Well, they're successfully doing it. There's a lot of joy in the perpetrators of this. 2 threes. But it's something that somebody feels they're doing a good thing. Is this a human that's doing this? Or is it a space alien? And we have this Empress. Again, I'm always getting the Empress in terms of nefarious dealings that are going around. As though that somebody, the feminine, someone was receiving orders. Someone's receiving orders to do this. All right. Spirit says that this message is delivered by do it or else type of dictate. Well, that's confusing. Now, we know that Florida is going to end this weather modification. And we know crowd seeding, this is cloud seeding. I mean, they're saying we've had weather modification for years. Cloud seeding to induce rain, that's been going on for decades, 50, 60 years. And they used to call it Operation Popeye. However, things change. What was done to, in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, today it's done differently. Today they do them with nanoparticles. Nanoparticulates. Exactly. It's a dry fog. And the message is that they're very happy to experiment with these nanoparticulates, which this is their time. Just like with the drones. They were showing us all the different types of look at this. Now we have success with more inducing nanoparticulates. And the chemtrails, which have been going on for 20, 30 years already, we've been lied to about the nature of that. Again, changing the weather through nanotechnology. They call them, in fact, there's this company that says they are guaranteed to lower carbon, to limit mold growth, to limit pathogens. They're just like, this is the most fabulous thing. And they say it's not chemicals. This is another company that's advertising what they can do. They're also saying that they can kill bacteria, and it's not chemicals, and it's not made in a factory. It's not poison. It's hatched from eggs. Do you understand what they're doing? This is more like sci-fi Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde, all those old-time shows you used to watch. Is stopping the sun going to be the answer? Who is doing this? What force is doing this? Now, let's look at this Empress. This Empress seems to be the most powerful card here. Let's look at this in the light of what? The light in the darkness. Let's see. Let's take this one. Now, we have the Death card. This Empress is not a giver of life. This force that we are bowing down to is not a giver of life. And we have the Six of Wands. You can almost say this is a death cult that's leading this. This is a cult that's leading the Resources of Mind Club. This is my earth, not yours, not ours, mine. And here we have temperance. Well, they seem to think that giving fog in little bits here and there, dry fog with a chemical smell filled with nano bits, is the way to go. Since it's worldwide and it's not directed towards one specific type of person. Besides, so when the people they want to have they have little bits of people. They're losing weight. They're having all these symptoms, but it's everywhere. So, and it's not to be discussed. It's not being discussed what it is. So this is a movement that's going on. Let's look at this Three of Pentacles. Since we already see the Queen, the Empress, is a death cult that's trying to disperse the action so they can be under the radar. Under the radar. Let's look at this Three of Pentacles. This super fog, super dry fog filled with nanobits that no one wants to talk about, which is making the people sick. Well, you do know that they can experiment on you, on us, legally in our Constitution in the U.S. anyway. However, doesn't this go against the Consumer Protection Act? Of course, how can you consume nature? It's quite a line, quite a free ticket. Quite a free ticket. Now let's see this Three of Pentacles. What's so exciting about poisoning people? What's so exciting about putting nanos? In fact, some people have gone out in the fog and they at night and they've shown a flashlight, and the fog is actually visible as like a snowstorm. Looks like snow. Now the first thing we have here is the Magician. And all right, so somebody's very clever. Somebody has a lab. Hi, how are you? Yes, this is live. This is live. And we're trying to figure out what this mysterious, dry, chemically smelling fog all over is. It's not nature. And it feels like, a laboratory. And what this Three of Pentacles is. Somebody is very proud of their work and their success. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. I did it. I did it. And we have the Four of Swords. And then they're just waiting to see the reaction. So there's a little wait time in this, which is why it's dispersed in about 27, 30 states in the United States and about 15 countries in Europe. Maybe Europe just has 15 countries, but in a sizable amount of countries. And then here we have the Ace of Wands. It's a successful experiment. That's why we have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Magician. We have wait and see what the results are. And it was a hit. It was a hit. It was a hit. So we have the Empress being one, of which representing slow death. Slow death. And again, they're like very excited that it's a success. The people are the leaders of the countries are in agreement, and they're slowly rolling it out so nothing can be targeted. But the cover-up has already begun. They're using nanoparticulates that can conduct, they can reverse, they can help, and they can harm. These nanoparticulates can do anything they're programmed to do. And you can, once you inhale them through your nose, through your skin, you can be however it's programmed. See, now the thing about nano particulates is the fact that they can be programmed outside of you, outside of the area, because they have transmitters in them. They're tiny little drones, tiny little microscopic drones with a program in mind. They have a little tiny motherboards inside, something equivalent to a motherboard. They have directions. They have code inside of them. And the code can be, you can have universal mind control, which is what they're trying to do. Let's look at this, the Three of Wands. You can have universal disease, universal stroke. You can be, anything can be programmed into these nanobits. They can do positive or negative things. They can like look for positive or negative things. And in the story of deflecting the sun, why are you being part of the experiment? Why is your body is being poisoned? These are poisonous. And what is in these things? What is in these particulates besides nano chips, nano transceivers? You also have strontium. You have all types of things. Barium. You have a lot of negative chemicals. And these things to cause, basically, they're here to cause mind control. They can affect your brain. If they can affect your heart, make you have heart attacks, if they can make you have, they can do anything, because that's what the experimentation is all about. And that's what mysterious, crazy fog is. You understand that's what it is. It's a toxic chemicals. It's a toxic cocktail. It has aluminum in it. Aluminum does not do anything for your brain. Does not. It's like lead. It makes you slow. It poisons you. This is what the whole crazy fog scene is. And there's zest to block out the sun, which we all need sun. They're also ingesting into your body, my body, anyone's body, a chemical cocktail. And this is something. Are we going to stand by and just go, stop, and just like, oh, they're doing it again? They're doing what again? How can you have a career? How can you have a life when you constantly have to worry about your food, your water, your air? Now we have the weather. We have, oh, it's fog outside. I can't go out because it's fog. In 2023, it was the smoke, of which it was like the endless smoke, 45 days of smoke and haze. And yet, there's nothing, no one is ever accountable for all this weather modification. It's just, oh, another day of smoke, get over it. Now let's look at these Three of Wands. What do we have here? All right, the Three of Wands, we have the nurture. We have, again, we have compliance. We have compliance on a high level. Disregard for you and I, the Three of Wands. And we have judgment. So that has yet to be proven exactly. How are we just going to be complacent about all of this? And here we have the Eight of Coins. Well, I would say the Three of Wands is yet to be, is yet to come, is yet to come. It's people dealing with it now by discussing it, by saying, no, I don't want this, and what is it, and stop it. We know it's nanotechnology. We know that it's there. It's like chemtrails on speed. We don't need your nano sensors. We don't need your cocktail. We don't need your smelly, smelly, smelly. And this is for the this is for the judgment. Not even for the Eight of Coins. We have the judgment, the decision. It's not needed. We have it's not needed. It's not needed. So it's up to us. It's up to us to stop hiding in the shadows and thinking, oh, this is just a stinky fog. No. We have to use the language of what is happening. And the language is they're nanoparticulates. This is a dry fog, an artificial fog. It's not nature's fog. So when they say on the news, foggy conditions, and you go outside and you see this fog that does not dissipate during any type of sunlight, it stinks. It stinks like burning tires. Don't accept people on the airwaves getting paid millions of dollars to say to take their word. You say no, it isn't. Call them up and say no, this is not. This is not. Speak to everyone and everyone about this. This is an alarm. This is an alarm. We shouldn't, as the Knight of Wands, we shouldn't just not say, oh, here comes the fog. Especially after, here comes the smoke. Here comes the summer of smoke. It's time for the people to do something about this. And I don't mean violently. I mean to say no, no, no. And where does the no is the most effective? It's in the pentacles, in the coins, And turn it off. Turn it off. Tell me you will not have this. You will not have this. And very much too that these nano sensing chips, nano chips, tiny, you can't see them. Well, you can see them when they all clump together. They're on a mission to mess up your brain. They're on a mission to cause brain disease, to make you the individual, you the group, you the collective. They're trying to get your behavior the way that they and them want it to be. They want obedient slaves. And what better obedient slave than is a zombie? Zombie. It's not a mysterious fog. It's zombie fog. Zombie. And when they get used, you see those zombie movies, and when they get used to you, they use you for whatever purpose. And zombie movies, they go around. And then when they did whatever they do, they fall over and they rot. They rot. So as we are, some of us, unlucky to be with this fog right now, you are being experimented on to see how good this Empress, how good this death, how good slowly released. How good is this? And also think of it this way too. Not only it could be any government, any group of people doing this against another group of people. Of course, it's not the show that we get in Ukraine, Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza, and Israel. No. And Russia. No, it's not that kind of show, but it's more of a psychological rot from within type of show. And that is also very disturbing. The quiet show. The quiet show. And see, it's almost as though they're getting rid of the organisms so they can enjoy the organisms' achievements, their houses, their land, their this, their that, without that much expense. Just pay off a few laboratories to put the toxic nano driven transmitters into the target population's bodies. Now, that's what are we going to do? What are we going? In fact, you can even ask yourself in these recent waves, the last 2 weeks of mass killings, events. Who do you think that you see? We use these words, these Q words, radicalization. We hear the word Muslims a lot. We hear the Islamic faith. We hear these black flag. We hear this and that, and so quick to label something. Yes, it was horrific, but now that we know, do they have some kind of system? And this could be an enemy of a state, and I mean like a country against country. It's boundless. It doesn't have, these devices do not have borders. They have Wi-Fi. They have 5G, 6G, 4G. And that's how they transmit. Now, even in recently, like yesterday or the day before, they had Las Vegas. They had New Orleans. This is the United States, Louisiana and Nevada, those two states. Incidences of which both of these people, these perpetrators of this heinous act, they were both IT people and they were both military people. And they didn't seem like ugly dudes. They didn't seem like stupid dudes. They weren't stupid dudes. And they didn't seem like particularly like cowards, even though their action is one of extreme mental illness. But what if somebody buzzed, you even say they were somebody buzzed at some point, planted nanochips into them. Planted nanochips into their bodies, into their brains. They have a tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tock. They have timing on the nanochips. Yeah, they are chips. Nanochips. The nanoparticulates. Nanoparticulates are extreme. It's been going on for about, I would say, 20 years. 20 years they've been publicly discussing nanotechnology. And they've had centers in some of the upscale universities around the world. Centers. And they've been brouhahaing over their achievements. Well, now it's pretty much quiet. It's quieter. That doesn't mean it's over. Can you imagine the sophistication of nanotechnology? It's been going on in your face, 20 years. 20 years in your face. I'm not counting behind the scenes in an underground lab. No, I'm not counting that type. However, we are into a new stage of mind control. I mean, it would make the old school of just advertising, like smoking cigarettes, things like that era, seem like the log cabin, seem like caveman style, petroglyphs, in comparison to what we have right now. In comparison. So we can't specifically say, and we will probably only know from dabbing with our spirit force, our spirit energy, our developing capabilities of clairvoyancy, psychokinetics, telepathy, remote viewing. What exactly is the reason for are we living, the reason for our birth, the reason for our continuance? That's being made so difficult, and we're being used as cattle, used as experiments. And we can say, is this fair? Is this fair? No, it's not fair. It's not fair to be an experiment. But it's fair. It especially isn't fair if we do not comment on it, if we do not seek to develop our abilities, which is intuitiveness, among other things. Because if it's not a one-sided cliff, plateau, mountain. There's 3 dimensions in all of this, 3 dimensions. Even though our eyes only can see 2 dimensions, this way and that way. I know there's a back behind here. You know there's a back. I'm not a cutout. You're not a cutout. And you're not an experiment for a lab. You're not lab rats. We are not lab rats. So we can say that this fog is not natural. So in the meantime, when you see this fog, listen. You can take a smell of it. If it smells funny, stay out of it. And if it doesn't dissipate, stay out of it. And maybe walk outside. If you have to walk outside to your vehicle, put a sheet around you. Put a damp sheet around you. If something is damp, it will like clean dry particles. Will stick to that, and then throw it away. Throw it away. Be like go outside like Halloween, like little spooks, like little ghosts. Protect your eyes. You won't have exactly big holes to go, and you won't be going boo. So that's the difference. And something that we should always remember. We should listen to each other and realize that drones, yes, the big ones in the sky, can also be microscopic sizes. And they can have just as much power as a large garage-sized drone. And they're noiseless. Don't be fooled by the drones you buy in Walmart, Target, or any type of fast food merchandising store. That's just there. That's just there to humor you. And also, too, nanotechnology has been used in a medical way and invading the human body. That's been around since 1999. That's quite some time. Quite some time. Even Julian Assange has warned people. I remember. He said that nanos have little circuits in them. This was way back in his time. And that they were using them to infiltrate scenes, sites, bodies. So again, with these people who are going around as mass killers, think for a moment out of the box and think of these people who are not infected. Infected. They could be infected with the internet of bodies, which they're trying to infect all of us. And their mission is to keep us distracted. To keep us distracted while they do. What are they doing? While we worry and listen to the propaganda words, because you should not really fans a solution immediately. It should have investigation. And what we're doing right now is psychically investigating by root of the internet of bodies, which this fog with its nanoparticulates could very well be a delivery system, a mass delivery system catching at random for communities, not just one person. However, these two former military people that did the nasty things in New Orleans and Las Vegas. They were military people, and one of them was, I think they both especially were involved in drones. And IT, they knew how to work the circuits, the code. That's worthy of discussion. That's too much, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence. And it's also strange, too, you take Elon Musk, the first thing he said, see how good my cars are. See how good my cars are. It was a good thing the explosion was done in my car, my truck, my Cybertruck. Is that cold? Is that real? Is that human? Is that human? Is that a human? We're going to talk about Elon soon. But is that a response of a leader? Is that... it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Look how well we kept those explosives, those firecrackers, those this, those that, those, and he shot himself. I mean, and he shot himself prior. It could be the nano particulates. There's lots of ways and lots of discussion. We are not being treated as though while we live in the 2025 realities of sci-fi, we are being treated as though we are Cro-Magnon Neanderthals in terms of how we're delivered garbage information. We're delivered, we're not allowed to think and to ask questions because asking questions is not allowed. You are just to go, oh, yes, and just to feel the emotion. He was radicalized. He was this, he was that. He was disgruntled. Yes, times are hard, but how many of us actually, of our own free volition, go out and do harm to others because we are in a pickle? We are in doo-doo. No. This is agitation, and conclusion, so you can have your direction. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. It's just herding the herd, like the shepherd with the stick and the dog. Oh, go ahead, you sheep's over here, you sheep's over there. You understand what I'm trying to? We should have discussion. Mystic Moon listeners, discussion. And we're asking the spirits, and the spirits say that something unnatural. This is an experiment. This is to see how it works. And this is the road to decay, endless death. It's not something to go bravo, bravo, bravo. No. And this scenario is set up so this will continue. This will continue until they get that war they want, that war path, following the Wolfson doctrine, which is 7 countries in the Middle East will follow down. Will crumble to the west. Again, the root of all experimentation is real estate. Just to have power. Now, once our spirits, your spirit, my spirit, the ether, our auras, examine that denominator, what the power is. It's because it goes to a whole lot of psychology, a whole lot of demon-infused entities. And we could say, yes, there are demons. There are negative energy waves. Yes. There are positive as well. There are great spirits of light. Now, this is the battle going on. Who will win? Who will win? Who will, without, there's going to be scenes and scenarios because just like Elon Musk said, my Tesla was great. You see how it took it? Instead of the analogy of like Tesla, no, let's go. Elon and Donald together. Trump Towers, magnificent building. Elon's Tesla, magnificent truck. And the two of them are in partnership, best buds. Now, that was a message sent to those two people. The people that protect them, that was a message. We're being followed a script. That's this thing that we who are listening have to watch. We're being given a script. Keep calm and think rationally. Who is gaining and who is losing? And yes, collateral damage is us, the citizens. It's the only lucid way to look at all of this. To have an instant solution to what a tragedy is not, there's no speed connected with it. It's called lucidness, what is obvious. And it's just rather strange that both of these people in Las Vegas and in New Orleans, both were military people. Now, that could say, oh, you shouldn't trust vets. You shouldn't trust military people. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's because maybe they use their military, countries use their military people as guinea pigs for things. They give them this, they give them that. It's part of their. They are the foot soldiers. They are the makeup of the division. They are subject to experimentation. And two, you see, it was a hasty job too. It was a spur of the moment because they used both situations, used the same rental company. Now, that could be from an haste decision. So anyway, let's just give this matter some thought. It can happen anywhere, and it's happening all over the world. These scenarios are not just limited to the USA, they're everywhere. And these nanoparticulates, this phony, crazy, mysterious mystery fog is a nano fog. It has nanoparticulates in it, and it's not good. It's not good. Does anyone have any comments? Does anyone out there think that there's more to it than this, or this is off left base? I think that we all know that we could be possessed, we could be inhabited, we could be controlled. We don't need to put our finger to the fire. We don't need to know, like right now, here's a lighter. Now, if I know I don't have to put my hand in this flame of life, this flame that was given to us by the gods, the fallen angels, by some entity, to know that it's hot and it burns and it could destroy. It could go two ways. This could go two ways. It could warm my food, cook my food, light my sight. It could also destroy everything. It all depends how something is used and how it's given. This lighter is given to me in a case. I flick the red for fire, red for like stop, go, attention. See even how it's made. I can hold this fire. The same thing with nanotechnology. The same thing with all advancements. They can be used in two ways. And if the wrong party has a different type of theme in mind, the wrong party theme, being ignorant and expouting ignorance is not the solution. It's not the solution. We cannot blame others for what we do to ourselves. Well, that's all I can really say now about this mysterious fog. Let's keep note of it. Let's follow it as we do the drones and everything else. But this is one more thing in the mix. One more thing in the mix. One more thing. So Mystic Moods is going to sign out now. And until the next time, we we psychically try to examine why the crazy things are happening now and what more crazy things. Who's driving this engine? And is it human? Is it human? That's a question all these buildups are. Is this a human doing this? Is this an aerial attack? Is this an attack? What is it? What is it? Is it an experiment or is it an attack? Stay tuned and we will find out. Until the next time, thank you very much. Mystic Moons is out.